Cool.
Hey.
Oh, it works.
Hi.
Y'all gotta go this way though.
Can you see?
Oh, we gotta turn it.
Oh, flip it.
But I have to use my phone.
Yeah, it's fine. I can hold it. Sorry. All right.
We old.
How are you two?
We're doing great.
How are
now.
you? I'm trying to get
Good.
Oh,
Y'all been moving and shaking today?
yes.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Our day started at 6:30 this morning.
wow.
Yeah.
Well,
to make sure
thank
lunch
you
was
guys.
served by 11.
Thank you guys for joining. Be
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Get to great. Appreciate it. And thank you guys for everyone who's joining in right now. Good to Great is highlighting people in their different walks of life and highlighting their journey and sharing it and giving any other tips, resources, and opportunities. So I'm very happy that Taylor and Maya are on today. And so before we go further in, I want you guys to give a little background about like yourselves and then how Taylor's Tacos came about.
Yeah. Well, I'm Taylor Mason. This is my lovely partner,
Maya.
Yeah. And we've been together since 2016, and Taylor's Tacos was officially launched in 2016. Isn't that a fun coincidence? And we just believe in great food and great service and breaking the stereotype that Black people can't give good service. That is like my number one pet peeve. And so we make sure, on top of having great food, that we give great service along with it and connect through delicious tacos.
Yeah.
So how did it start, right? So who thought of this idea? Did you both like to cook? Like how did Taylor's Tacos like come about from an idea to fruition?
Yeah, so I mean, the story that I tell everybody is like, a lot of people don't know this, but I mean, I was a basketball player my whole life. I was the box out queen. I was like Dennis Rodman, Charles Barkley, all in one. You know, get at me, I can get you on the court. Okay, I can slang tacos and still see you on the court. Just let me know. But no, seriously, in all seriousness, I was also like the team cook, and so cooking has always been kind of like within me all throughout when I was growing up and still playing and stuff. I was always, you know, cooking it up for everybody, and still it was always like a part-time like little job that I did, because everybody's like, how did you even get into this? Because when I graduated from school, I actually worked for MBU Athletic, kind of like in the basketball world, but this was always something that I wanted to do. And once I realized I was ready to work for myself, I'm like, you know what, let's do this Taylor's Tacos thing. And I was always doing like little parties and stuff and slinging tacos for $1, just having fun at my house. And it just started to grow, and more people started to hear about it and find out about it. And I'm like, okay, you know what, we have to brand this thing, and it's taken off. So what started as the Vibe Collective, having tacos with artists and all types of stuff, has now turned into Taylor's Tacos full service catering company. And then Maya, how did you kind of get into it?
I don't know. I just met her and I did what I always do, which is cooking. And I don't know. I was like, I like this and I want to make this different and I want to keep this the same and I want to make this better and I want to, you know, it was just, it worked.
The woman's touch, you already know. So you got two great, beautiful women on it. It's already going to be good. But no. But Maya, you're actually so funny. We were talking today. Like, she's like, how did you find out that I could cook? And I'm like, I don't really know. Because she said she was trying to put the moves on me in the kitchen. But, you know, I was right there with her. So it was toe to toe. But Maya is the real cook through this all. She's like what we call the ghost cook. Because she comes up with some crazy thing. Like, she just elevated. I mean, Taylor's Tacos started with the chicken, the steak, and the asparagus tacos, and that's how that's just what we decided to do. I mean, the asparagus kind of emerged because I'm like, I need something for my vegetarians. Everybody in the world is going vegan. What can we make that's out of the box but still delicious and that people love? And asparagus was it. And so that's kind of taken off. And then she brought it, she kind of just, now we got nachos and like burritos, and we have salads, and we have salmon. Like, we have everything now because of this, the brains. She's the brains behind the operation.
It is delicious, by the way. So if you guys haven't had Taylor's Tacos yet, please order it.
Now you can get them every day. You can get them with us. You can get them with Docs. You can get them everywhere, all over from us, from 1 to 7, Monday through Friday. But Docs is open late night. And we got so many great things coming. You know, COVID came and we had to do a quick pivot with our whole business model essentially changed. You know what I mean? But what I think is great is kind of like a Chicago thing is we know how to adapt. If you can get through a Chicago winter, you can get through anything. And that's kind of where we are with it. And it's been working in our favor because we gotta, my mom always says, do you like food with your meals? And I definitely do. So I gotta work to make that happen.
We got people saying Taylor's tacos are amazing. Hey, you guys, if you guys can like comment your favorite like dish from Taylor's tacos, that would be dope.
Yeah. And what do
have,
you want to see on the menu? We got, we got some avocado and a fried avocado taco coming, avocado fries.
Oh my God.
We got some heat coming for you. Maya's in the kitchen cooking up. She has her whole salivate thing because, Maya's the fancy one out the group. It's not even bougie. It's like, she's just the classy one. I'm just kind of here. So yeah, she loves food and she's so smart. Her intelligence and the science, she really understands the science behind food. And I think that's why we're able to make it even more delicious.
Ceviche.
I love that.
Ceviche. Yeah, ceviche. Turn up.
And so yeah, we got, you guys are amazing. I hope you realize how visible you are in our community, and those you don't realize are observant.
Oh my, that is, you guys, we got you. Thank you. Thank you so much. We really you guys take care of us. We want to take care of you for real. Yeah, and it's been amazing. So we really appreciate it like so much. And you guys have been
finding two women who can cook too. What? That's like rare.
But it's like Maya always says, if you can read, you can cook. Yeah. Okay? If you can read, you can cook. People are just lazy, so stop being lazy and make some good food, you guys. All right? Read a book.
There's time. Like,
now you got time to fail. Okay? Until you get it right.
Trial and error. It can be done.
All right?
So you do this full time?
Yeah. All day, every day. Every day, all day. 24/7.
What led to that switch, right? Because a lot of people have a regular 9-to-5 or a full-time career, and even if they have something on the side, they're not confident enough, right? Or they don't think that like they can take it on and run with it. So what was instilled in you that made you know that like I can do this full time and I can succeed?
I think I was just kind of bred that way because I'm an Aries, I'm a Ram, I'm kind of hard-headed, but I think that kind of works in my favor because I'm going to do what I want to do, but I'm going to do it in a way that is graceful, but we get the job done. And so I knew I didn't want to work for anyone else besides myself. I wanted to be able to go and cash the check with my name on it and not anybody else's name on it. And I think that was more of the drive behind everything, behind everything that I do in life, kind of, that makes money. But it was a risk. You got to be willing to humble yourself. You have to be willing to go through the trenches, but you just have to know you got to come out the other side. My mom says, if you couldn't climb the mountain if it were smooth, and that has kind of stuck with me amongst a lot of other sayings that have stuck with me. But if you couldn't climb the mountain if it were smooth, and that is the honest to God truth. So you just got to rock climb it, baby.
I'm writing down all these gems. So if you see me like turning this way, I'm just like typing all your quotes out.
Oh yeah, quote unquote Nita Snyder. Okay.
After this, I'm literally gonna put out quotes, right, from the people that I've interviewed, because I feel like we usually refresh quotes, but we don't really give new quotes, right, to society.
Oh, you hustle man, Samantha. You about to sell a book on everybody's
Nah.
Quotes, I swear to God, if you know somebody know how to make $1 out of 15 cents.
So we got another Two Sisters Catering says, trust yourself and your abilities and do the work. Yes, that is so true.
Yeah, that's our girls over at the hatchery. They're doing their thing, And the hatchery, so that's the kitchen that we work out of now. It's an incubator space. It's brand new on the west side of Chicago. Wow. We actually got in there because we won a pitch competition where it was so crazy. I'm west side till I die. She's kind of north side, Evanston, Rogers Park. I'm still trying to figure out how this is working, but it is, so that's a beautiful thing. But the hatchery, back to the hatchery. This space, it's brand, like I said, it's a state-of-the-art facility. We got it because we were in a competition where we basically just had to let people know what we were doing. And because we won that, we were able to get kitchen. We won a $10,000 grant to kind of put our
Wow.
foot through the door in the space. And so that has certainly helped us, and that has kind of been home to us. And I mean, it's like this 2020 is what we said was going to be the year that we really tap into our resources. And the hatchery has been so helpful in helping us do that. And just knowing that we're at the space where we need to learn how we can really elevate and grow and just really make this $1 million business. And we're on our way. We're almost there.
How did you find out about the hatchery, and how can other people get involved and apply?
I actually found out about it because it is so brand new and state of the art, and it's on the west side of Chicago on Kedzian Lake. It stands out in the best way possible. So we happen to be riding down the street, and I'm like, what, that's how we first found out about it. And then of course we did our research, and it actually shares a home space with Axion, which is
amazing.
A space that basically it's funding for businesses, small businesses especially. So if you are a small business, you need to get over with Axion, and they have a lot of different ways, lines of credit and things that you can get into. Of course, especially right now. I mean, of course, they're overwhelmed because of what's going on, but it's a great.
How do you spell that?
Accion.
Axion.
And so, being over here on the west side, as we're continuing to grow, we've realized we really want to stay over here and in spaces that are food deserts, because it's crazy. You go past Western and you only getting Italian beefs and French fries. You know what I mean? And it's like, what if you want to eat some good food and gourmet food and be able to connect with your people? So that's what we're really trying to focus on, amongst a million other things with our business. But we do want to make sure that our people in these communities have a space to be able to come to and eat good food with great service.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so can you explain, Maya, I think you talked about Salivate. What is Salivate?
It's really just like my own, honestly, yeah, see, that's what Two Sisters is saying right now. That's good information. It's really just a culmination of me being like me as a person that loves food and everything that I love to eat and everything that I love to cook. That I want other people to try. And I mean, yeah, we have amazing tacos. Like, we have a whole business model that's working. But I mean, we also have a whole like elevated, and not even elevated, just like, I would just call it like worldly comfort food. It's like comfort food for me, I think that like there's such thing as soul food and like comfort food in every single culture, like all over the world. There's comfort food for people that you would never imagine, and like just traveling and like trying different kinds of food and like learning how to make that food and just going to it whenever I just want something that's familiar. Like, I want to be able to share that with people.
And so that's going to be kind of the new sister of Taylor's Tacos, and we're slowly rolling that out amongst so many other things.
What's like a challenge that you see right now during quarantine with your business?
I mean, I think it might be pretty obvious, and that's just staying in business right now. And I mean, it's resources and funding. And I mean, just knowing, are you going to use your own money? Are you going to be able to get funding like lines of credit or loans or grants, what have you? And do you have good enough credit to be able to get that? You know what I mean? I would be the first to say it's been a hard journey, because in college I was a little wild child. I had some crazy people, in my life, but I've gotten to the age now where I can say that was on me, and I've had to grow up, and it's taken some time, but you definitely have to take that time to go through all of it. And I think as adults, we kind of run away from it because we're either ignorant to it and we just don't know, and we're scared of it because we weren't taught. And I don't know if it's a cultural thing or if it's just, I don't know, but I do know that you really have to face it, and you have to be uncomfortable in order to grow out of that space, because it really is going to affect you when you're trying to build yourself and your business. And so once you get all that together, then you can be like, life becomes easy, and just learning that you can have $200,000 in credit, or you know what I mean? And it's like, I never knew that. Like 5 years ago, I didn't know that, and so just learning how I can use money that I don't have right now to be able to do things that I want to do right now is what you have to work towards.
Who introduced you to that concept?
Life 101 Sidewalk University. But kind of really just in learning like all of the kind of business people that I've come into contact with. I know so many people, and I mean, especially because from my family and my father, like my family has a basketball company called MBU Athletics, and just learning from them, especially, and just what they've experienced and what they go through. And they've taught me what I should do, and they've taught me what I should not do. And so just learning that you don't always have to touch the stove to know that it's hot. That's kind of what it is.
I think I cut you off, Maya.
So no, it's fine. So I think that for me, it's more of like I don't know, not like lack of knowing which way our business will turn at any point, because essentially right now we're like operating from a point of just doing what we can within certain parameters. And I mean, we went from being like full on caterers who do live service catering and travel around and interact with people and go to events, and that's completely like not like that's been taken away. So, I mean, just how we're operating now and doing deliveries and online orders and feeding healthcare workers and whatever it is, like that could change at any time. So I think that that's like the weirdest or like hardest part, probably.
Yeah, it was the biggest challenge that we had was honestly when we have a big calendar in our home. Just so I don't forget anything that we have to do. But that's completely filled every month. Like it is my job and goal to make sure that we have something almost every day. You know, like we're working, because if I have something on the calendar, that means money's coming into my bank account. And so from taking down the March calendar to put up the April calendar and everything being canceled, that was a gut check. So we had to really dig down deep and figure out, okay, so now that we've pivoted our business, we've changed from being full service catering to now pickup and delivery, and giving honestly what the people want, which is access to tailored tacos every day made by tailored tacos. You know what I mean? And so being able to just be like, okay, so now that we're doing this, how can we market and brand ourselves? Because we're honestly like almost in a brand new lane, a new market that we had to switch over in about 48 hours. So that was the biggest challenge, but I think we're taking it with grace. But we couldn't do any of that if we didn't have all these beautiful people in our community, people talking about us and letting know, girl, did you try those tacos? Like, yes, thank you guys. Like so much. You just have no idea, because you are like letting us know it is okay to keep chasing our dreams. So thank you guys. Like, and especially and having our back during this time, because I thought Taylor Sacco's was dead and gone. I was like starting to chisel in the RIP, you know, like, because I was like, how are we going to everything when you're getting, we had like what, almost 40, 50 cancellations, like, and just getting those emails in, and, you know, and just that'll make, that was a little rough, just knowing that all that money is being lost. So being able to just work together and pivot, but at least we can hold each other at night. Like, it's going to be okay, girl. And we made it. We're making it through. Yeah.
How do you guys balance that, right? Like, being together, also working together, right? And trying to still have your me time, free time. How does that work?
You want to take that one? No. I think, as you can see, I'm a little bit more forward over here, and Maya's always like just chill, cool, calm, and collected. So that certainly helps, because we are like yin and yang. But I think just knowing our role is our biggest thing. And it's like, I'm very like business savvy. I'm all about like work. And she's all about mindfulness and wellness and just making sure you keep life together. And that's that's the understanding that we have is I do everything in the business to make sure that we're going to be okay in life. And she does everything in life to make sure we're going to be okay in the business, you know, and that's our breakdown, and that's how we make it work. And I mean, we definitely have times where, you know, she might need to go in the kitchen and I might need to go in one of the bedrooms, but we know when that time needs to happen.
Yeah, it's really like not bad. Like, I couldn't imagine working like this full on with somebody else. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, it really works. Like, yeah, it's not always just like smiley and great all day every day, but we know how to work together.
Yeah.
And like, we work well together. So it's honestly like really challenging for us to bring other people on. Like, it's a big deal for us to like hire people and have like tell people what we need them to do and like trust that they can do what we need them to do. So like that's been a big thing just during all of this too. Is just like knowing that we need help and like how somebody else can help us because it's also just us.
Yeah, and knowing when you need to pay somebody to do things that you can't necessarily do
or don't want to do.
Yeah, I mean, well, she doesn't want to do. I want to do it, but just knowing that you can't do everything, and so sometimes you do have to relinquish, you know, that power, that understanding that okay, it's okay if they're doing something because they've got it, and you just have to put that trust. But good help is hard to find, so you have to do your work. But I mean, even now, like with everything going on, my parents have even really stepped up so big time because they have truly been affected because their businesses have been shut down due to this, and they've been helping like with your deliveries, making sure that everything gets around. And what's beautiful about it is having like knowing that these people who are like it's just an extension of us basically, knowing that from the time it leaves our kitchen to get to you on your doorstep, that your food was cared for by people who care about Taylor Sacco's and know that that want you to eat and be great. You know what I mean? And so just to know that is just, you know, just an extension of our business and during this time, which has been so wonderful.
I love that service and that quality. I think a lot of people, right, they're like, how much money can I make? Let me just scale to $1 million now. And then their quality starts to go down because they don't care about like what it is, right? They're like, as long as it's delivered, whatever it is, I did it, I'm good. And I feel like it seems like with you, you're the opposite way. You're like, the money is going to come and it will, but my service is always going to remain consistent.
Oh, exactly. We talk about it all the time about how we feel people, especially in our community, like to go from a small business to a big business. And it's like, forget that. We're going to take baby steps. We're going to hone our craft. We're going to make our money. We're going to slowly let it escalate because we want to continue to give that quality. And it's like right now we're learning all the things that like, we're about to hit y'all, you know what I mean? But it's going to come. It's going to come a little bit at a time, but we're going to keep hitting you with it because we are learning, oh, we're going to have, like, when we open our space, we'll have our own tortillas. We'll have our salsa. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to have so many things I can't even tell y'all yet, but it's coming. And it's all going to hit you, and it's all going to hit our bank account.
What advice would you give to other couples who, or either it could be like a mom and dad too, but like people who want to work together. But a lot of people always say, right, don't work with somebody that you know. Right? Don't mix work and play. What advice would you give to people who have like a thriving, successful relationship and like business too?
What's your advice, babe?
You know,
my advice is work with people who have that drive and hunger, who want to get the job done. If they don't want to get the job done, and if you know it, you got to hop on out. But if you can feel it or know that they're showing the signs that they want to do the work. That's really what it boils down to in my eyes. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that because I don't know. There will be people that if it's a relationship, if it's family, what have you, that just like want to help because they want to help you or just because they know you or want to get paid, but like have no interest, you know? Like she said, and it's like you could tell when somebody's around just like piggybacking off of what you're doing versus like wanting to collaborate with you and like actually give what they have to offer, you know, and want to grow whatever you're doing with you. There's a difference, you know? So I think it like comes down to discernment, kind of like what she was saying. Like you just have to know if it's going to work or if it's not going to work. And if it's not going to work, find a different business partner or do it yourself.
It's all about experience. You know? But when you have that first feeling, trust your gut. If it's not working, you need to exit in the nearest and the quickest door possible. That's the real thing, you know? But if it's working and everybody's pulling their weight, it's like, you know, it's the group projects situation. You know, when everybody's doing their job, if they're not, you got to go.
Yeah, it's just like dead weight. So, and it's like you'll still know each other, or maybe you won't, depending on the nature of the relationship. It's like we don't need to have this kind of relationship, you know? We can keep it that, or we can work together, you know? But not everybody can collaborate, and that's just...
and it's okay to say no, you know? Like, we have so many people, and even like people that I've tried to work with, if you know it's not going to work, it's just don't force it. So that's the biggest lesson.
Don't force it.
It is.
Did you guys have any mentors? Like, I know even too, right? I'm sure you don't see a lot of women in our community and being African American, you know, having these like thriving businesses in Chicago. Or is there like a group that does that, right? Do you have any mentors or peer groups that have like businesses just like you?
You know, honestly, we've been using a lot of the resources, like from just the people and the businesses that we've been working with. We've kind of like created a lot of relationships just with like the owners and just learning kind of what they do. Like, for example, we worked, because our journey kind of goes everywhere, but a couple of years ago, we were out of Tapster, and just learning, like just being with that owner every day and learning from him and just kind of like experiences like that. But I think a lot of it also comes from just what we read and what we learn outside of just the physical relationships, like with people, but just
Mm-hmm.
like the book. Like we're both reading books right now by the same author, Jen Sincero. They're kind of like the same, like kind of like self-help books, if you will, but it's all about like learning about your mind and how powerful the mind
what
is,
is available,
and just
to you.
everything is mental. And it's like whether you work or you played sports or you do anything, they always tell you like mental is like 90% of it or whatever percentage that they give it, but it's true. And it's like you really have to will things to you. And it's like I always was like, what does that mean? You know, you can't just say, if I say every day I want this, but it's like if you're telling yourself every day that you want this, it is in your mind, and you are going to find ways, and the universe is going to open up to you because you want it, and you're going to will it to yourself. And I think, and I'm reading one about money that is willing money to yourself, and she's kind of just reading the power of just the mind, period. And so I'm telling you guys, like if you say that you want to make, like, here's an exercise that I actually got from the book. It's like if you write down right now how much you think that you can make, the most that you can make in a week, and it could be, I don't know, I mean like $15,000. And it's like to some people that might be crazy, to some people that might be nothing, you know.
Mm.
But if you think that you can make $15,000 in a week, write down the 10 ways that you think that you can make 15 grand in 1 week, and then go out and do it, you know, and go out and give yourself that challenge. And it's like, oh, that sounds crazy, but it's really not that crazy, because you know you're going to find ways. If you're serious about doing it, you're going to make yourself uncomfortable, and you're going to grow, and you're going to make it happen.
But that's the thing, like I feel like people don't realize that that's even powerful in its own way. You know, it's like if you have to do something, like if you have bills, if you need to, like we keep our phones on every month, like if you have a phone bill and you know that if you don't pay it, your phone's going to get shut off, you scramble, figure it out, call your mom, call whoever, like get a loan if you have to, you do what you need to do because you need your phone to be on. You know, like you need to pay your rent, you have to pay your gas bill and your electric bill, or you're going to be shivering in the dark, you know? So when it comes down to like us saying what we want and what we deserve and like things that we want to achieve, it really just comes down to like tapping into that same willpower and like understanding that things are available to you and that they will happen for you, and not like they will. And if you keep believing that, then you're going to find ways to make it happen.
Exactly.
You know, and you have to like constantly believe that it's not like going to be I don't know, like a sunshine and roses kind of day every day, but it's like you might have to have terrible days to get to that $15,000 goal. But if you keep going, even on the bad days, it'll happen, you know?
I love that. I think a lot of people, when we go on these lives, they'll talk about, they'll touch on like what to do, like with your mentality, right, and emotional space. But like a lot of times they're like, okay, this is that program opportunity I use, now get to the money, right? But just like you guys are saying, it's 90% your mind, right? If you wake up and you got COVID, knock on wood, right? You're not going to be thinking about how can I make this money this week. You're going to be thinking about how can I be healthy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
And worrying is just bringing things to yourself that you don't want. It's like praying for things that you don't want. So think about the things that you do want and keep those in your head. And that's like what we've actually like kind of been practicing that like this month. Like that's kind of what we've kind of put into play with ourselves, because it's easy to do that, especially in these times, you know. But if we keep putting that positive energy, it really does make a difference. And you know, you're gonna get back what you put out.
we got a comment from Cib or CIB Purple, said it's really refreshing to see people who put so much love into what they do.
Ayo. Or not, that's what we like to hear. And I know that you're doing the same, but we get it from you, you know, like you guys make us want to work hard because, I mean, obviously we want to, like, we don't want you to get your food and be like, what on God's green earth is this? We want you to say, wow, they care about us. They put labels on it. We know what our food is. They gave us instructions. We know how to put it together just how Taylor would. And it's delicious. And I got enough for tomorrow. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Like we really think about all these things and it's just the two of us. I mean, honestly, because of kind of what like we're working with Howard Brown right now, but because of that, we've been able to hire people who have been put off. We actually hired a kitchen assistant who's phenomenal. He's wonderful. And he's really coming in and helping out. And it's just because of all of you, we're able to do this. And we are so, so, so grateful. You just don't even know.
How can people support you?
Keep eating tacos and loving tacos and wanting to try new things. That's the real thing. Because we're really trying to change the way that people think about tacos. Because we say Taylor's tacos are authentic street style tacos with a whole lot of soul. So you're getting that the true Mexican flavors, but you have two beautiful Black women who are putting it together who want to just give you that flavor bomb in your mouth every time. And we're going to keep giving you that like all day, every day. So be ready for it.
And also, like, it's just, I just feel like people need to realize that it can really change you and do something to you and like make you feel connected to the person that's making your food when the food is good and you can taste like everything that happened to get it to you. And I'm like a really strong advocate for dining and cooking and like doing things from scratch as much as possible and like giving people food that I would want to eat because like who wants to eat bad food?
Exactly.
You know, and it's like the taco is literally like it's like a blank canvas. Like you can do anything with the taco. Like there's literally like you can do anything. Like there's thousands of combinations that you could do. And it's just like we can keep people excited. Oh, hi. We can keep people excited and we can, you know, like keep making people feel happy and loved and comforted through food because we care. And like if you're cooking, you should care. I don't understand like why people make food like with bad energy or like make food that's not good or like sloppy or like there's no care in it, you know?
Yeah, if you care about the food, it's gonna taste good. Okay?
They don't live to eat.
And that's fine. But if you care about your food and you're making it, it's gonna taste good.
And if you're selling it, I mean, you know, you have to, you're selling food to people. You have to, like, there's almost like a responsibility there. It's not just I threw this together and I'm just gonna sell it to people. Like, I understand needing practice or whatever. It's not even about that. It's just about like care.
Yeah. And I mean, but during COVID, I mean, the ways that you can support us, definitely. I mean, please, you guys, like, if you order, we will take care of you. Please keep ordering. We have Cinco de Mayo coming up, which is a fun holiday, just a reason to eat tacos and drink tequila for us. And we have some great things coming out for you this week. But once all of this is over, I mean, we're going to get back to like, hopefully we can get back to like not distancing as much. And we want to take care of you guys. And we just want to have an appreciation party for you guys because we couldn't do this if it wasn't for you. And I mean, I know she's laughing at me because she thinks I'm a party animal, but I mean, that's how this all started because I love food connects people. And that's how we started. Like, I always want to stay true to what we like how Taylor's Tacos began, and that was bringing people together, giving it was the Vibe Collective was a platform for artists known and unknown. And to me, if you're alive, you're an artist. You know what I mean? Whatever kind of canvas you may have, they all differ, like they differentiate. But the thing is like we're all artists, and artists need to eat. So they need to be able to bounce creative ideas and just things off of each other and communicate and network and all of that fun stuff. And that's what this is all about through Taylor's Tacos. And so we're gonna keep doing that and just keep showing you love because you guys show us love.
You got another comment that says you can taste their passion through the tacos.
Hey, that's our goal. That is the goal, mission.
And don't you guys have a giveaway coming up too, right? So y'all need to follow their page. So when that giveaway comes up, you see it.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have been so good to us. We're like, we got to keep giving back. I mean, because a lot of people don't even know this, but we take like a percentage of what everybody pays every week for like their orders, and we give it to someone in need every week. And then, but we're like, you know what? Some people who have the money, who have been spending, it's like, you know, you guys need some love too. You know, we're like, we got to give it to people who've been spending their hard-earned money just because they can. And so we want to take care of you guys. So we're giving away 3 family dinners. We're also considering giving away a catering once everything opens back up. We're just like unsure of what's going on with the world. So for now, we want to give away 3 family dinners. That's either 20 tacos or the 12 tacos, the sides,
Wow.
the nachos, and all that fun stuff. So we're giving away 3. And the way that we're doing that is we're doing our Get Saucy challenge. Okay. So y'all know we got a single out. I don't know if you know this. Taylor's Tacos got a single. Okay. Check it out on the page. And we're gonna have some details out, but just, we want to see your taco creations. You make us, we want to see what you come up with, because it's all about how you do it. We're going to supply you with everything you need, but to put it together, make it look good, make it taste good, and you guys can win some tacos.
I'm just reading these comments.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah, we got a comment. She's like, wow, I'm really so inspired. And I think you both are inspiring, right? To just have that drive. It's very genuine, right? It's very genuine. It's very pure. And it's not like, I want to make all the money, or I want everybody's going to love my taco because I got the best tacos in Chicago. It's like, no, I'm going to give you a good experience. And everything's going to speak for itself. Just buy into the taco.
That's exactly it. Like, point blank, period. And don't get me wrong, we have made some wrong turns. Okay, Taylor's Tacos, we have done, we're over 1,000 events, something like that. And not including like caterings and stuff. And we have been in some sticky situations. Don't get me wrong. I done slung some tacos in some basements. I've had to get people that tried to pay me in link. Okay. We've gone through some things. All right. But it's all, we just try to stay above. We got to try to keep the positive attitude and just know that, is it true to our business? And if it's not true to our business, then we can't do it. And we have to recognize that, especially as 2 women, you know what I mean? We have to know our boundaries. We have to know our structure and our policies, and making sure. And it's like, you really have to know, like, as a small business owner, you're the one that has to do all that. You know, when you go and you get that job downtown, you know, they give you the whole manual and the whole handbook and everything you need. Somebody put that together, and in a small business, that's going to be us. You know, and it's like, I was telling Maya, like, before we're like doing full on hiring, we have to make sure all of that is complete, and make sure that when people come in, there is structure for them to follow, so that we can still run the perfect business. And I think that is what kind of that's why we're just taking our time with it, because we can't come in, we have to build a very strong foundation so we can build it up to the top. And our foundation is almost done, and we're real close. You know, it took about 4 years, and really 6 years, I guess, if you really think about it, because the very first Taylor's Taco was made 2014, July, for my dad's birthday, and it was on a big old shell. It was like a hot mess. We had some grilled onion. We had a whole bunch of stuff on that. And now it's like, it's a total, you wouldn't even recognize it now if you would have saw the old one. And but we didn't rush it. We unleashed it in 2016. So it was 2 years to get it right. And then about 4 years to get the foundation. And now we're ready to get our own spot. We're ready to, and I mean, outside of, because the space that we have now is our own. We have our own private kitchen, but we want a space that people can come to, you know, for an event and catering space. We don't want to do the full service restaurant, even though that's kind of what we're doing right now. But we want to have a space where we can throw our own events. You guys can come and eat Tuesdays and Fridays, but then other than that, it's an event space. And we're doing our catering, because catering, if you're a caterer, keep doing it, because it's a great place to be, except for COVID-19. But, and, you know, and that's one thing I learned as well, is like, with this situation, we learned we can't have all of our revenues in the same industry. We got to figure out like some other things to tap into, because that's why it affected us in the way it did at the beginning, because everything that we were doing got shut down.
I love that, because there's been a lot of debate recently in the finance world talking about having multiple streams within the same industry, or having multiple streams in different industries. And they said in different industries, you probably can't make enough, because, you know, they're like, it's 100 ways to skin a cat or something like that, where you can do it in one industry. But like you said, right, if that industry goes down, you're SOL.
Right. And that was like the biggest lesson that we learned. So we're certainly fixing that. And I mean, like I said, we're pivoting in a major way, but it's working out for us. And now we're like, once COVID is over, do we stick with this? You know what I mean? Do we stay doing what we're doing, or do we, I mean, obviously we always will have that catering, because that's who we are, but it's just kind of the unknown. We're just not sure. But in the meantime, we got to keep working and grinding and just kind of preparing for everything.
We got a great question from I think it's Gabrielle M. Snyder. He
Oh,
said, "No,
Gabrielle.
knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently when you started Taylor's Tacos?"
Knowing what we know now. Oh, that's for my brother. That's Gabrielle. I thought you were saying someone else. Hey, G. Knowing what we know now. Honestly, I mean, we made some rough decisions, you know, and I'm not even gonna. We're gonna keep it positive in here. You know what I mean? But it's just honestly, I would say the biggest thing is following your intuition. That would be the biggest thing. There has been, we can count on two fingers the two times that we did not follow our intuition and it backfired on us. And luckily, because we are, you know, swift like a cat, we was able to shimmy out that situation real quick, and like we was able to hop back and reevaluate. But just following your intuition, I think, would be my biggest piece of advice. What would yours be?
I don't know. I mean, I'm really, like I said, I think everything happens for a reason. I don't, it's hard for me to say like what I would have done differently because I don't know what I would have done differently. So I'm happy with how it was done, even if it was like, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. But I mean, yeah, no, I'm pretty confident that it was supposed to happen. You know, and I think that like we learned more this way than just being like super like rigid and structured and like, you know, we are supposed to do this or we have to do this or why aren't we, you know, like every time we made a mistake, we learned from it and then we got better.
Yeah.
So I don't really like if everything was just perfect and like nothing bad happened or no mistakes were had. I don't know like how different our business would be right now. So
yeah, and it's so easy to get caught up, especially in this age of like social media and like just access to people, you know, a lot easier. Stop comparing yourself to others. Like, do not do it because it's a trap. Okay, I will definitely say I've been in that trap before and just seeing like, oh, they're here in their business and oh, they're here, and it's like, you know, we're right where we need to be. And it's like, if anything, just learn from the competition. I'm not saying don't pay attention now, be observant, but just don't compare. And I mean, that's human nature, but just when you see and consciously feel yourself doing it, just know that you are exactly where you are for a certain reason, and you just make it work, girl.
Yeah, and it has nothing
or
to
boy,
do with you.
or whatever your pronouns may be, baby.
Seems know? Like you all too, like you fail fast if you do like ever like get into a situation, right? You both seem to be saying, right, like yes, the road wasn't perfect, it isn't perfect, but if something happens, we learn from it and then we pivot really quickly, right, and then get into a better scenario. And I think that's what I think a lot of people should like start to grasp onto, right? It's okay to fail. Failure is like part of the equation to success, but like you have to fail quick, right? Because if you are, it can keep you down. And like you're talking about, like it can keep you down in the dumps, and mentally your spirit is gone. And then once your spirit's gone, the business is gone.
Oh, for sure. And it's like, it's okay to have that down. Like, you know, it's even like, it's like a perfect example because of what's going on in the world. I know everybody has had that day where they're like, I can't take it. I can't do it. You might have shed a tear or two. You know what I mean? And it's okay. Feel that. Take that time. Emotions, you have to like experience them. You know what I mean? You have to go through them in order to release them. And it's like, let that release go for that night, or if you have to take a day, but don't let it be longer than like a weekend, for real. You can't be that guy, but just feel your emotions and release it and put those big girl panties on, and it's time to get to work.
Are you both around people like that? Is your friend group like emote so much positivity just like you all?
I think we're the positivity pipers of the group, don't you think? But you know, and that's another thing. We've had to cut a lot of people off the circle. This circle is small, okay? Period. And it's for a reason, because you just have to realize, especially as you get older, you know, everybody's not here for you, and it's okay because I'm here for me too. But if you just, I
mean, that's something that we've learned like through. I mean, I just think being in business as well has been something that it's just been a journey and like a progression, and it's kind of like rises and falls. And I think that, and just even with us like meeting and being in a relationship and working together and like growing together, there's definitely been people that have come and gone, and I think like things kind of balance out the way that they should in all aspects of your life, depending on how your life is going. And I mean, the way that our lives are now, I think the people that are in our lives are inspirational and like good people and a good influence to us, and like people that we also respect and look up to. So I mean, there's definitely some people that are not around for that reason, because that's just the way that our lives are going.
Yeah, and my dad, the good old Coach Snyder, always would say, association breeds assimilation, baby. And it's like, that is, like, it's so true. And I mean, like, for me, my biggest thing is, like, just not being around lazy people. And you can meet a lazy, leechy mug when you like, you know it. And it's like, exit, get out, abort, mission over, okay? Trust it. And that's the thing, because they will bring you down. That energy will bring you down. And even if you're even in like old past relationships, you know it's good, babe, but just stay home, don't go to work. No, take your ass to work and get that money, and you will see them in their beautiful face when you get home. For real. Like, just things like that. It's just, you have to be willing to put in the work and be around people who are willing to put in the work. And don't get caught up.
And so a fun question, which I feel like, I don't know if people have asked you, but like, what's you guys' favorite dish or favorite item on your menu? And then how often do y'all eat tacos?
It's so funny because we eat tacos like every day. It was like, you're eating tacos? Like, yes, we are. And they're good. They're delicious. There's so many tacos. We're really sad because of COVID, we couldn't go on our taco tour. I don't know if you guys know this, but LA, and because we're trying to like our tacos, we feel like our competition for our tacos is in Los Angeles. So we go there to kind of scout out and just be like, okay, what they doing out here? What's going on? You know? But my favorite is kind of a play off of what they do, or like what we're trying to make actually is something that's really big in LA, and that's birria. And that's kind of how we make our meat, kind of off of that style, and just
like stewing.
Yeah, just stewing the meat and really like letting it sit and getting all those flavors. And because of that reason, I have to go with the extra juicy chicken, baby. Okay, because
that was a long way to that.
It's just delicious.
No, I'm just saying. I think my. I don't know. People ask us that a lot, and I just
it changes.
Like, eat it all, like, just get everything. But I don't know. I think like I miss making our crispy shrimp tacos. I do.
Yeah.
Because now that we are doing taco kits, we're not doing those just for like travel. So we still have good shrimp tacos.
Although we are considering bringing them back, but they would come breaded, so you would have to fry them at home, because like we said, we want to make sure, because Taylor's tacos are meant to be consumed hot, ready, and delicious. We're not going to have you make them hot in our kitchen and then send them to you home, and then you got soggy boob socks. Like, nobody wants that, you know? So that's why we break everything down for you. It's deconstructed so that you can rebuild it at home and make it exactly how it's supposed to be. And with our crispy shrimp tacos, you would have to crisp them up at home. And I mean, some of y'all, we didn't see y'all in the kitchen, and we just want to make it as easy as possible. So that's why we're a little apprehensive on bringing it back. So we might just have to wait until we're back with the crowds to be able to make that one. But that is a good one.
Yeah, and I would say the chicken and sweet potato combo too. That's a good taco.
Oh yeah, like the Obama. Yeah, the Obama.
Well, no, just like
just
not
with
extra,
all the stuff.
Sweet potato on the chicken.
But the Obama is fire. Come on.
All y'all tacos are fire.
Thank you so much. We're keeping them coming.
Did we answer the question? What was the question?
Yeah, she said favorite tacos, and what's our favorite?
Oh, okay.
Because do we eat tacos?
Yeah.
What's your favorite tacos that aren't Taylor's tacos?
What's it called? Oh my god.
Oh, right around the corner. What is it called? The neighborhood.
We haven't been there in so long now.
I know. I'm like, damn.
It's not far from here. Where is it on, like, 20?
I keep wanting to say video, but it's right around the corner. Barrilitos. There you go.
Yeah, I think it's Los Barrilitos. But they're Al Pastor. I have this like random obsession with Al Pastor with a lot of pineapple. And they like had a write up like in the Times. Like, it's all over. Like, if you type in best Al Pastor Chicago, like I did, you'll find it. And then I like started doing research, because that's just how I am. I'm just always thinking about food. And yeah, we tried it out. They're cash only. Just a small little place, and they have like 3 things on their menu.
That's how you do it.
And it's just really good, really simple, but really good. And I miss them.
Yeah. And that's
How
why
can
we've kind of done a play by doing our street taco as a play off of their tacos. And I'm
okay.
sorry, what'd you say?
No, you're good. You're good. I was just asking how can someone take more of like a mental type of perspective when they're eating food, right? So most you guys touched on this earlier, right? But like food is nourishing. Food should be good for you, right? You should also watch what you consume. You shouldn't just consume anything out there. So how can people who normally don't have that perspective kind of shift their mindset to like think about like food is going to nourish me, right? Like what advice would you give to that person to be more aware?
So you're saying somebody that's scared to try new things, or
They
someone who
consume anything and everything in their body.
is just being more mindful about eating?
I would say
Correct.
learning about cooking with texture would be the biggest thing for us, wouldn't you say? And just umami. And umami is all of the different, you got your sweet, you got your sour, you got your bitter, you know what I mean? Like just making sure that you have the full spectrum of flavor and just being able to decipher between those flavors. You know what I mean? Because that's what, like, do you have your acid? Do you, like, she's reading a book, salt, fat, acid,
It's like my
heat.
like
It's like her
Bible.
Bible, dang near. You know, and I would strongly suggest that you get it, but it really just breaks down. It's basically food for dummies and just learning just everything that goes.
I wouldn't say that. It's more like it's like a really good reference book.
It
It's,
just puts it in layman terms. That's what I
it,
mean when I say that.
yeah, I mean, it's just like very like detailed. It's a really
Mm-hmm.
good book, and it's like a great reference book if you're just like, if you want to know everything about food. And that's kind of what I was gonna say. Like, I think the most important thing and like what I learned in like the household that I grew up in, and just like I said, from traveling a lot when I was little and just being places where people are making everything like by hand from scratch, going and shopping and like actually like coming in contact. Like I love, like I always say, I love cooking with my hands and using my hands. And it's hard for me. Like it's hard to get me to wear gloves sometimes because I just like touching things and like really like being in there when I'm cooking and like feeling my meats and like knowing when they're done and just doing everything with my hands, mixing things, breading, whatever, because it's I don't know like why you would want to be disconnected from the food experience. And I think that the reason why there are a lot of people out there that might not want to try things or don't really have like a mental or mindful connection to food, it's because we literally are living in a time where people are getting more and more, and it's like the food industry, like it's their goal right now to disassociate people from the experience of creating food and making it like more accessible for people, so that they're spending money with these industries and buying this packaged food and buying this fruit and buying these vegetables, and they have no clue where it came from. They have no clue what a tomato out of the garden smells like or tastes like, or you know how a plant even grows. Like people want to buy plants fully grown and don't even want to go through watching it grow. You know, like we're moving so far away from the process of what food is and how food is made, and it's like people need to connect into that in order to mentally be present for the process, you know?
And it's like when people say when they don't like bones with their chicken, like, honey, you know that chicken came from Tweety, right? You know what I mean? It came from a real living thing that was slaughtered for us to consume, you know, and for us to eat. And it's like just learning the process of from the like basically from farm to table, you know, and we're really trying to start to gear towards that and just getting people like it's just understanding where your food came from, and then it'll help you appreciate it more.
Came from. And so I like to also round out these lives, right, by saying who is being great in your life, right? Just somebody you can see around you, someone who's influencing you, or even like just mentally, right, keeping you sane or in a good space. I want you to shout out. I know it's not. I know we only have like 6 minutes left, so we don't. You can't shout out everybody, but like the main people that come out at the top of both of your minds.
Go ahead.
You can go first.
You told me what you wanted to say.
I
But-
mean,
oh, yeah,
yeah, you go. Stop.
No, we were talking about this beforehand, but I mean, for me, honestly, the biggest driving force in this, call it what you want, is the people that we serve.
Oh, you stole mine, so then let me go. So that's because that's what I said.
Nature too.
Well, yeah. So I said, go get in the pool.
What?
I don't know
So
either.
I said, I honestly, like, I know you said a person and like shout people out, but I really just, I think it's like kind of almost like I'm reiterating it throughout this whole conversation. We really feed off of and are inspired by like the communities that we're a part of. And there's like so many individual communities as well as like the whole collective, like on a more macro level of just whether they're separate communities, it's still all like we're all still one. You know, and every time that we feed people, every time we come in contact with people and learn from people, like the people in our kitchen, the people that are running our kitchen facility, our parents, like our friends, it's like everyone, you know, because every single time that you come in contact with somebody and like also do that like monetary or food exchange, like that's a form of connectivity, and that's also like really inspiring us to keep going. So like for us, I think like our main drive is really the people that are keeping us afloat and like keeping our business afloat and also entertaining like our interests, you know, and like enjoying our interests.
Like because of you, because of everybody who's ever supported Taylor's Tacos, we're able to get up every day and do something that we love. And they say that you never have to work a day in your life when, you know, it's something you enjoy. And that's exactly what we're able to do. Like, don't get me wrong, it's hard and it's tough, but I wouldn't want to do anything else. And I couldn't do that without the support of my community, without my consumer, without, you know, just people who are teaching us right from wrong, essentially, in this business world. And with that said, one last note for any like people who are trying to build something, please, let's make the West Side great again. Let's make the South Side great again. You know, like really create our communities that we want. And I would say tap into the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund. We're actually trying to get something with them right now. The next cohort opens in July. So any small businesses and like they call it like underdeserving communities, but basically the West and South sides, which I hate to say, but we have to bring where our people are, we have to bring it up. You know what I mean? And put our businesses there and create strips that are for us. Like we were riding down 26th Street. I don't know if you guys are familiar, like Little Village. That is the second highest grossing strip of land outside of Michigan Avenue, which is crazy.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because it's their people supporting their people. Now we are doing, I think our Black community is doing a much better job. I think we're kind of like getting it a little bit more as far as circulating the Black dollar, but just creating these Black, you know, just communities of wealth. And I think something that can help us is the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund. That's what I'm trying to say in short. So please check it out.
Thank you too for putting that in there. I think a lot of people don't know, right? And so they don't know how to support and how to get involved. And I think by giving people tangible things to research, to look at, and to start to get involved in, then, you know, like you're already getting the ball rolling, right? So it's like once you get the ball rolling, you tell somebody else, it's not going to stop. So I love that. And I thank you both for coming on, for being transparent, for talking about the business, for dropping all these gems. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody here, order tacos.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Brittany. We really appreciate you. Thank you for putting this together, keeping this going. You're doing like amazing stuff, and just let the people know and subscribe to your channel too. Let them know.
Facts. Okay. So I will save this, and then it'll be on IGTV and YouTube, and so I'll just text y'all the link.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.
Adios.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.